Happy Hippie is a YouTuber known for his love of nature camping and exploring. His videos are never about creepy or strange events, but this time, something unsettling happened. During one of his adventures, he decided to spend the night in a bothy called the White Lagan, located deep in the Scottish wilderness. If you don't know, a bothy is a basic shelter usually left unlocked and free for anyone to use. When he arrived, he checked inside to see if anyone else was already there, but the place was empty.
Oh, nice, bunk beds. Alright, sweet. Nice and cozy. Said I wanted to take up fishing. Someone's left a little homemade fishing rod. Really sweet. You see some pretty weird written on doors. That's normally what you see, smoke that and that's a common one. If you can see it, it says Bill Gates. That one, little coordinates. Think I'm gonna go check it out? Hell no, but I'm sure someone's just joking.
Apart from a few things left behind by past travelers, some old clothes, a few fire-starting supplies, and some writing on the walls, there wasn't much. So he began to unpack and settle in for the night. But what he didn't know was that something was about to happen, and he wasn't prepared for it.
I got one of them water filter straws, and it comes with 2 little bags as well, so you can attach the straw to that. But I've not got to use... Oh, maybe this is the guests. There was no one there. I don't know if that's just the people me or something. I don't know if that's something they do, but I don't think it would be that family. It was just a dad and his daughter and son. Oh well, we'll see. It was just knocking on the door again, and then I went out, but there was no one there, so I don't know what's going on, but I've not heard of any haunted bobbies or anything. I've never had weird shit. Fuck's sake. I just wanted a nice little bobby night. If you've watched all my videos before, you know I don't do shit like this. Fun night. I can hear walking around in the other room, and then I go in there and it just stops. Maybe I just put my music on really loud and forget about it. Yeah, cameraman never dies, right?
He kept hearing knocks on the door like someone was out there trying to get his attention. When he stepped outside to look, the area was completely empty, with no one in sight. But the knocking didn't stop. It kept coming again and again throughout the night. Since he had already checked and found nothing, he decided to ignore it and focus on staying calm, even though the sound never really let him. In November 2024, a YouTuber known as Camping with Josh uploaded what was supposed to be just another outdoor adventure. He was deep in the woods, ready to spend the night alone. But little did he know that things would take a disturbing turn.
I'm finding it really difficult. Do you know what I mean? You heard that. And it's really quiet. There should be birds singing. There was birds singing, and I've just noticed they've just stopped singing. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't they be singing?
At first, he assumed it was just the wind or debris falling after the rain. Unfortunately for him, the subtle crunch of footsteps slowly growing louder as they crept closer to his camp.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to leave my tarp here in the woods. My bag is already packed. I'm just going to grab what I can grab and come back here in the morning.
His heartbeat quickened and a wave of panic hit him. Without thinking twice, he made a choice, packed up and got out of the forest. Josh got away that night, but whatever was out there in that night had gotten far too close. Luke is a man that has a real passion for the outdoors. He's always out camping, not just for the views, but because he genuinely enjoys it. He often talks about his gear on his channel, and this time, he's heading into the wild to explore a rugged mountain known as Devil's Throne.
This is an episode that a lot of people have been looking forward to, and that includes myself. This is a very odd location. Strange things happen here. This is my 4th time to the Devil's Throne over the years, and every single time I've experienced some odd things. Already, I've had 2 experiences just coming up the mountain here. I'm not alone up here. Something is with me. I hear footsteps, I drop my pack, I take off running, I can find nothing. I make it back to my pack, I'm hearing footsteps again.
As you can see, the weather is thick with fog, making his journey feel even more unsettling. Something strange happens every time he visits this place. Even before reaching the mountain, he began hearing strange, unexplainable sounds. These weren't just wind or rustling leaves. They were footsteps very clear and heavy coming from right in front of him. Yet no one was there. But he stuck to his plan to spend the night completely unaware of what was about to happen.
This large rock structure, everyone, is the Devil's Throne. Basically, it's a series of rocks stacked on top of each other, jutting off and over this mountaintop. It is extremely cool. At the same time, because of the size of this, it offers a ton of protection. So, when you're underneath this gigantic rock, it could be storming outside, and underneath here, you will stay dry.
After a long hike, he finally reached his camping spot. He unpacked his gear, made himself a coffee, and sat back to enjoy the calm. This time, there were no footsteps, just silence and a moment of peace. But that quiet didn't last, because something suddenly broke the stillness.
I wish I could tell you all what that is, but I do not know. It's just out of my reach as far as my hearing goes, you know? It's like one of those things where I feel like I could tell what it was if it was just a little bit louder. But I can't. It sounds weird though, that's for sure. Not once today have I felt like I was alone up here. When I was hiking up the mountain, I heard footsteps. I heard that strange noise. I hear it again now. This is part 4 of the Devil's Throne series, and likely it'll be the last part. I wanted to come up here, spend the night, see what happens, and I will share with you all my experiences. Already a bit strange, you know what I mean?
He couldn't figure out where the sound came from or what it was, but it left him with a growing feeling that he wasn't alone on that mountain. Later, as night fell and he started preparing his next meal, things felt quiet again until he sat down to eat. That's when he heard it again.
I am still hearing that sound. It's pretty loud too. Closer. Unfortunately, it's too foggy, the rocks are too wet to go mess around in the dark. I have to stay right here. Basically, I'm hunkered down for the night. That is so weird.
I don't know what those sounds are, but they don't seem like they'll stop anytime soon.
There's that noise again. Every time I hear it, it sounds like it's in a different place. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be coming any closer. Like when we were eating, it was pretty loud, but now it's fairly far off. And that makes it kind of strange, you know what I mean?
I really don't know what to think about those sounds. Maybe there's a normal explanation. But the footsteps we heard in the beginning, that's hard to ignore, especially since he was completely alone up there. I'm not saying it was Bigfoot, since I don't think it's possible, but if you've got any ideas, let me know in the comments. This channel is all about exploring abandoned mines and strange forgotten places. The creator has a real passion for the hidden history behind these locations and loves capturing it all on camera. In this episode, he's heading into the Waldeck Mine, an old abandoned gold mine tucked away in Nevada County, California. It turns out that this time, his video was more than just exploring.
So let me get down here and turn off my lights. Okay, yeah, this is like a kind of a stope chamber going up, and the tunnel continues straight ahead. So let me put the light on here, the through night light, and I'm going to turn out my helmet lights. Yeah, it's very hard to be constantly filming while trying to walk through these tunnels, kind of stooped over and tripping on rocks. It's hard to hold the camera steady and the light steady. And
as he walked deeper into the cave, his breath grew faster, like he could feel something wasn't right. The silence around him felt heavy, like the cave itself was watching. And then, just a few minutes in, something truly disturbing happened.
They had to put big ones in here to hold up all of this rock. And you can see right here where some of these boards are bending. Do you hear that? Sounds like, what, is that wind? I don't know if you can hear that on the camera. Do you hear that? It stopped. Well, I don't know what that is. That doesn't sound like wind, but that's crazy. Don't know if that's a bird or I don't know what that is. It almost sounds like snakes. But
without warning, the sound of whispering swept through the mine, quiet at first, then very clear, like voices hiding in the dark. There was no wind, and also there was no one else around. I can't explain what it was, but if you have any theories, drop them in the comments. The Hoggett Project is Jake's channel, a YouTuber who loves heading deep into the wild, especially when things get strange or unusual. But the video you're about to see might show one of the worst situations you can face alone in the woods. It all starts off normal. Jake is out in the mountains, looking for a good spot to set up camp for the night. Eventually, he finds a flat, quiet area, perfect for camping, and begins unpacking his gear. But once night falls, things take a dark turn. He starts to hear branches snapping, and they're coming from way too close.
And I don't think I was recording earlier, but something made a heavy sound over there. Could have just been some old rotted logs settling. But up that way, a couple miles, there is a camp. But I don't think anybody's hiking this way back down. Anywho, I've heard that the red lamp keeps the bugs away. I don't know if that was me or something over there. Definitely something over there.
At first, he had no idea what the sound was, but we can hear a recording where he explains exactly what happened next.
Of course, the noises stopped, and I'm guessing whoever it was, it found a good spot to lay low. I didn't see any eyes glowing back. record, but it was not recording. But anywho, I've got my low beam on at this point. I think I see something small. Maybe it's like a raccoon or something right there by the water. And as I hit the high beam, this is when I see it. I see something standing there on the side of the road, pretending to be a statue. Whatever this was decided it was just gonna freeze, and then maybe I wouldn't think it was anything. But as I'm looking in that direction, I'm not even kidding, it looks like somebody dressed up in camo. And they've got their back slightly angled away. I'd say like at a 45 degree. They're standing there about 6 feet tall, looking like a human that I just caught that was probably sneaking up on me. That's all I can think. When I saw what it was, the human, and I kept the light on him for a good 20 solid seconds without saying anything. You know, the fear just kind of washed over me because I'm thinking, what's gonna happen? Call them out like, hey, what are you doing? And they're all camoed out. Maybe they'll just say, oh crap, he caught me, now I'm gonna shoot him. I mean, we're out in the middle of the woods. They say that people are the ones to fear. It's not the animals. That is what happened, and eventually after the 20 seconds, he didn't move, he just kept standing there. So I just pretended like, oh, maybe I didn't see you then. On my way out, periodically I'd turn back, check. Nope, didn't see him, he's gone. And that's that. Very, very strange, and I don't know what the plan was for me if I'd stayed there.
As he said himself, who knows what could have happened if he stayed any longer. But he made the right call by leaving as fast as he could, because out there, it's not the animals you should fear, it's the humans. I wonder how many people have experienced something similar, but never had the chance to record it or share it with the world. I'm sure there are plenty. The night can be a very unsettling place, quiet, dark, and full of things we don't always understand. Because sometimes the sounds you hear in the dark don't come with an explanation, and neither do the things that follow.